Been a while, but the series has another 10 chapters, so let's talk about them. Chapter 61, The War Chief's Return. There's a lot you can do with fictional races, and the Tarkatans are no exception. This one explores Tarkatan culture, the significance of bone and metal blades, Baraka's rise to power and his place in Melina's story, as well as the way Tarkatans at large view Melina in light of her looking completely different from pure-blood female Tarkatans. There is a continuity error here that I recently noticed with a previous story about the two characters, so I guess I'm literally just as bad as Netherrealm. This is basically the same thing as the Twindale retcon, and that's just a solid argument someone could make after that blunder. Chapter 62, The Ghost's Rebirth. Reptile makes his big debut in the series,
and he dies!
Yeah, there really was no coming back from that whole possession and mutation thing. At least, were it not for Shang Tsung, the one man in all the realms with any respect or appreciation for Sonic RXD's favourite waifu. So the focus is on their dynamic, with Shang just Karitagawaing it up, and Collector appearing as a guest star. Chapter 63, The Successor's Ascension. The timing of the arrival of the past heroes in MK11 leaves no room for Cassie to properly mourn her mother, and the story is focused on the Outworld stuff during the time she'd be actually taking it all in, and I get that we need to keep the plot moving, but this was just a bad way to do this. We miss so much introspection and development for Cassie here. So this story is about how Cassie copes with the loss and the sudden return, with her dad being there to help her figure everything out and get back out there. Chapter 64, A Very Mortal Christmas. Yes, a Christmas special, that's different. It's a typical Cage and Briggs family Christmas from when the girls were young. Vera Briggs and Erica Blade even get some spotlight. Chapter 65, The Prince's Rival. Goro's mindset during his return to Khan's service at the end of the 3D era has so much potential when he's not just an evil enforcer, and the way Taven finds him just looking out over Khan's army in an almost wistful way is quite telling of what can be done with the man who has before now put aside his differences with Kung Lao and Kitana. So I think having this ultimately honourable figure regain some of his broken down spirit by facing off with a demigod is pretty cool. Chapter 66, The Master's Reunion. Bo' Rai Cho reunites with Shujinko during Deception as they work with Li Mei and Fujin to plot Onaga's downfall. It's a redemption bonanza as they and Kai are all working to make up for their failures and absences during key moments. As far as world building, the big contribution of this chapter is the idea that Onaga can't merge the Kamidogu because Vaeternus, only recently restored, will take some time to reform its own Kamidogu, and that gives the heroes time to stop him. That and the establishment of a previous Nightwolf as the one who trained Shujinko, just to clean up the timeline confusion from Deception. Chapter 67, The Brothers Reunion. This is the start of an ongoing narrative that lasts until the end of this video. The story follows Sub-Zero and Noob Saibot in the Battle of Armageddon. It follows on from numerous stories, from The Shade and the Protege, to The Messenger's Sanctuary, to The Shadow's Resolve, being what Bihan, Kuai Liang, Frost and Serena's stories have all been building up to, the clash between Sub-Zero and his friends, and his many enemies. Since the rest of these stories follow this, I'll be spoiling what happens here, so if this sounds interesting to you, bow out now. All I'll say for now is that if you're familiar with some of my previous ideas surrounding the two brothers, you might have an idea of where this is going. Are they gone? Good. As for the rest of you, you're either a based individual who has already read this story and knows where it goes, or you're a cringelord who hasn't read it and just wants the spoilers. So what my hope with this story is that people will read the title and make the association with my ideas of Bihan's purification into a Sub-Zero Noob Saibot amalgamation and think that's where this is going, only to get blindsided by Kuai Liang being killed by his brother and the two becoming the post-Armageddon equivalent of Scorpion and Sub-Zero from the MKX intro, since Scorpion is too busy transitioning from his Kill the Elder Gods Armageddon phase into his Wise Mentor post-timeskip phase. Chapter 68, The Widow's Fury. You didn't think I was going to stop at introducing Valkyria and my fleshed out Vera into MKK, did you? Another original character, technically, is Tarantula, Quan Chi's revenant bodyguard. This chapter deals with her creation, as well as Hanzo becoming a key figure in Earth's defense after the deaths of some of its best fighters in Armageddon. Chapter 69, The Spectre's Redemption. A loose adaptation of MKX's opening scene, Sonya's flashback, and the intro of the comic, only with Hanzo taking a key role in restoring some of the Revenants alongside Kenshi and Serena, a new motive for Kenshi seeking out the Shiryu and not the Lin Kuei despite already having a rapport with Sub-Zero from Deception, and even some fleshing out of Su Chin's character and revealing the identity of Tarantula. One of the struggles here was settling on who the Revenants are in this combined timeline because I don't want those who've already been mind controlled to go through that again. It was fine for MKX to have some overlap with Deception since they're two different timelines, but when it's just one, it's repetitive. So no Sindel, Katana, Kung Lao, Jax or Smoke, while Johnny and Sonya aren't eligible replacements. And with my established rule for the limited number of resurrections, and previous establishments of characters like Kai still being around, my options became quite limited. So the Revenants are one of the most reworked aspects of MKX for this series, so hopefully that'll keep things fresh. Chapter 70, The Spectre and the Cryomancer. another loose take on an existing scene from MKX. I can't tell if this means that game's writing wasn't that bad, or if it's just because a lot of it needs reworking to fit a post-Armageddon world. Either way, Hanzo meets with Kuai Liang after his restoration, and is finally able to move on from all the guilt that's been steadily building in him since MK4. And the two discuss the origins of the rivalry between their clans, now at the definitive end of that rivalry, with Takeda's backstory being an amalgamation of basically every Scorpion and Sub-Zero backstory not taken from MK mythologies. I love this kind of amalgamation of stuff like I've done with Sonya's backstory, and Kano's. Now, amalgamating the 4 versions of Kitana's MK2 narrative, that'll be a challenge. In addition to this video, I'm also releasing a little side project I've been working on since probably before I started making these videos. I've been compiling the series into roughly chronological order in a single document, formatted into what is apparently a proper novel format. Alongside this, I made little covers for each book of the series, spanning from MK1 all the way up to the post-MK11 concepts where Human and Fire God Liu Kang are preparing to face off with the escaped Revenant Liu Kang. The Superstar's life story, being set across almost that entire span, is split into parts and sprinkled throughout, each named after one of Johnny's movies from the various continuities. It's currently on 527 pages, 511 if we remove the covers, contents pages and timeline explanation, and is available on my DeviantArt page in PDF format. I'll update that version every so often to keep it current with the release of new chapters. If you liked this video, why not subscribe and support me on Patreon like these fine people here? If not, then make sure to share it with your enemies so they can suffer along with you. Today's recommended video is Mortal Kombat 11 Credits MK Trilogy Style by Shah. It's one of those exactly what it says on the tin deals, and it's really well done. I've been waiting a long time to shield this one, so you damn well better check it out.